so clear that you can't ignore it. Can't ignore the fact that I put out a video shining the light, and the video begins with this right here, Revelation 17:5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mothers of harlots, an abomination of the earth. On my other prior video, find yourself isolated, avoid it because you're different now. But inside knowing things that's difficult to even try to explain, how can you talk about or try to explain 5 decades, well, since the 80s, let's see, yeah, close to 5 decades of knowledge when of the fathers, families, right, to the younger people, the younger men. I'm speaking to the men now. You guys have it very, very difficult because the system that was been put in place since the early 1960s, it began. See, if I was able, and I had the material, and there was a handful of us back then that sounded the alarm. Like again, there was no support. The schools being infiltrated, religion being taken out, and then you got this.
Why do you have a problem with what I'm saying? Go home. I need to preach the word of God out here. I need to reach people out here.
Listening to the single, they lost their lease, their time, and their lease. The radio single was still being transmitted from the Galactic Center.
Say what?
Video last year. Now imagine if something like this happened, and you get a single. You know, you think you're gonna stop? Now, you think you're gonna stop listening to that single coming from the Galactic Center?
Seen anything like it, any existing criterion. So where are these signals coming from? No one knows, I think. So, with the mystery unresolved, the scientists have now made their findings public, hoping that some genius somewhere would be able to solve it for them.
So Chandra X-ray telescope currently aimed at the Galactic Center, and they put together mathematical figures together. They crunch it up, and this is basically what they heard in the musical tone with the numbers from the Galactic Center. Sounds like the wind chimes you put outside when it's windy. Sounds beautiful.
How Satan has really destroyed a life today.
Well, it's true, and it's very unfortunate, and I'm sure, I know you guys here locally at CPAC have been paying attention to the speakers and all, but the story that's broken and is very, very active online, viral online right now, is that over in Spain, and I would call them socialist Spain, Pedro Sanchez's Spain right now, that there's been a case of euthanasia, government-backed suicide that was administered to a young girl, 25 years old. Her name is Noelia Ramos, or her name was Noelia Ramos. Because just a few hours ago, this government-backed, and I'm going to call it what it is, it was a government murder. It was a government murder that took her life. Listen to what happened here. A couple years ago, she went to the hospital because she had depression. They put her in a state-run home to be able to be watched for, so we thought. She was raped by multiple North African migrants while she was in government care. Following this, she did not receive the help that she needed. She attempted to commit suicide by jumping off a 5th-story window ledge, tried to kill herself. She didn't die. God saved her life even then. But she did become paraplegic. Well, hold on folks, unfortunately the story does not get better. Because then the government came to her and said, instead of helping her out of this terrible pit of despair through healing, they said that we want to offer you government-backed suicide. Her family fought it. Her mother said to turn it off, said to stop it. They said no. You know why they said no? Because her organs had already been promised to another patient. They took her organs, even before she was dead, even before, while she was still alive. And her father tried to file a lawsuit with the government, and they still said no. I'm very sorry to say that was carried out earlier today. It's atrocious. It is not compassion. It is unhuman, and it is satanic. And when you do not embrace a culture of life, then by default, you become a culture of death. And that just goes to show you that is the end point of all far leftist socialist politics. It always ends with the deaths of the innocent.
Lo que está transcurriendo en este siglo es una guerra santa. Es una lucha del bien contra el mal. La única palabra que define lo que acabamos de ver es diabólico.
Muchas cosas se han dicho por acá y por allá, así que en este informe vamos a desenmarañar las cosas para esclarecer los puntos clave. En primer lugar, hay que decir las cosas como son. Noelia era una paciente psiquiátrica que intentó quitarse la vida varias veces a raíz de los reiteros.
De un centenar de personas han mostrado esta mañana en Madrid su desacuerdo por la decisión de sacrificar al animal sin tener
brutalmente asesinada por el Estado, brutalmente asesinada por estas organizaciones de derechos humanos que permitieron que Noelia se quitara la vida. Ustedes la mataron sin
to help us. Hell, you guys kicked the Muslims out in 1492. It's what led to the founding of America. You guys should be. Where's Isabella when we need her? Where's King? Was it King Juan? Isabella, we need her. Where are they now? Why are these Spaniards? Why are they not back in the United States? Why are they back in the Muslims?
Because George Soros and Alex Soros took control over our government. We are governed by the leftists like Pedro Sanchez. Now we have a problem with again.
Ella Noelia Ramos se llamará para el día de hoy explicándolo un derecho. Noelia es una mujer de 25 años que sufre depresión después de haber sido violada y después de haber intentado suicidarse.
Noelia Castilo Ramos, esta joven que apenas con 25 años, pues se le aprobó la eutanasia tras casi 2 años de batalla judicial para que le permitieran morir de una manera asistida. Ella quedó, como ustedes han visto, parapléjica después de un intento de suicidio en 2022, sumida en una depresión profunda porque fue víctima de un ataque de abuso sexual en grupo, agresión múltiple. Varias personas, varios hombres la atacaron y ella, no, siendo una adolescente, no pudo soportar eso. Justamente
Me llamo Noelia Noelia Castilo Ramos, tengo 25 años, me quedan 4 días, 26, ya me hacen la eutanasia.
El Estado español decidió que la solución para estos casos, a partir de ahora, es deshacerse de la víctima y no de los victimarios. ¡No se nos ocurra! De hecho, pedir la pena de muerte para los criminales que violaron a Noelia, porque no tardarán en poner el grito en el cielo los mismos organismos de derechos humanos que piden la ejecución de Noelia, disfrazándola de muerte digna.
Empêche de décaler l'acte létal, enfin une euthanasie, à 25 ans. L'État espagnol a abandonné une gamine de 25 ans qui ne se remettait pas de son viol.
And revealed to Sister Lucia. Quote, the final battle between the Lord and the kingdom of Satan will be about marriage and the family. Don't be afraid, he added, because, quote, whoever works for the sanctity of marriage and the family.
No coincidence here, folks. This is divine design, and it'll make sense if you